This is unreal.
The weather, an uncontrollable force, giving us life and taking it away. As our planet heats up, the weather is getting more extreme.
Guys, we've got cars floating again.
More terrifying.
Avalanche!
And even more catastrophic.
If you're the praying type, please just pray for us, because this is really scary.
With incredible self-shot footage.
I thought Titanic came into my head.
From the front line of fear.
The biggest challenge we have is going against Mother Nature.
It's an extremely challenging environment.
We witness firsthand.
What I was feeling was burning from inside out.
The wrath of Mother Nature.
I was saying everything's going to be okay, even though in my head I knew that was a lie.
I'm getting out of here.
It's like your brain doesn't understand what you're seeing.
From twisted tales of terror.
I don't want to die in my store.
Death was right around the corner.
Earth-shattering natural disasters.
It's an earthquake.
You're dicing with danger. If you're in their way, you die.
And stories of sheer destruction.
Oh my God!
It's all gone.
It looks like World War II.
We meet the people who've stared death in the face.
We're not going to get out of this alive.
And survived the full force of the world's deadliest weather.
Really kicking our ass.
Coming up in this episode. Hurricane Florence crashes across North Carolina.
I realized we had to get out immediately.
Creating catastrophic flash flooding.
It's lifting us up.
There's no control, it's just floating at that point.
In Portugal, a top surfer is determined to take on 100-foot waves and win.
I was like, wow, is this thing going to land on my head or am I going to outrun it?
And in Anchorage, Alaska, a magnitude 7 monster rips up roads as it tears across town.
The only thing I could describe it as like a train coming. When I was like, wow, this is huge.
September 2018, and a threatening Category 4 hurricane named Florence is barreling towards the east coast of the USA. In the firing line is the city of Wilmington, North Carolina. Watching the hurricane closely are storm chasers Gabe Cox and Jeff Mangum, otherwise known as the Tornado Trackers.
We grew up loving tornadoes and decided one day to go out storm chasing.
We started to talk about storms and watch videos of storms, and then eventually started to chase storms together.
Storm chasing is a dangerous pursuit. But while most residents prepare to evacuate, the Tornado Trackers head to North Carolina to document Florence's arrival.
We knew as it approached land that with its sheer size and power, that not only North and South Carolina, but all the states around it were going to feel significant impacts.
As the hurricane approaches land, its power lessens, and Florence becomes a Category 1. Ready and waiting, the Tornado Trackers brace themselves for impact.
There starts to be that excitement, like, okay, it's happening now, let's get into game mode. And it wasn't until the eye wall moved into Wilmington, it ramped up almost instantly, and that's when things started to go flying.
911, what is the emergency?
Do not go outside.
Right now, due to the weather, our units are on lockdown.
As Florence slams into North Carolina, its downgrading lulls the storm chasers into a false sense of security.
I think we expected the winds to be a lot less because it had been a Category 1, but we realized as we positioned ourselves downtown that the wind was actually funneling through the buildings and creating a wind tunnel effect.
The howling of the wind, just the pure, terrifying sound that I had not heard before with a hurricane, and it's unrelenting.
That's when we realized that this wasn't going to be the typical Category 1 that we had experienced in the past, and it was turning into a dangerous situation to be out in.
This is what a Category 1 looks like, everyone.
Amazed by the fearsome strength of Florence, Gabe ventures inside the hurricane's eye wall.
Okay, there's a massive gust up here. I'm gonna take you up to this street, get a good view.
You had these areas where the wind was coming from one direction, but it was shooting through the alley in another direction, and you would have winds well over 100 miles an hour.
Now you know why I'm staying behind this wall.
I was still in the car, and about 5-6 feet to my right, this large beam that was on the roof of this 8 or 9 story building came straight down. And it was the loudest, most frightening sound. It didn't just catch me off guard. It immediately let me know all it takes is one piece of debris and your life is gone.
As night falls, the tornado trackers move from the city streets to an unattended gas station.
To watch something so heavy and so big look like just a little toy that was being tossed aside by the wind, it was not just frightening, but it's humbling. You're also wondering, why am I out here right now? Is this worth it? You know?
I realized, okay, now we're in a really vulnerable situation, and we had to get out immediately.
But the next morning, as they try to make their escape,
oh my God,
Florence unleashes a dangerous sting in her tail. Torrential rain.
It was flooding areas that had never been flooded before. The people were caught off guard. There was a massive natural disaster.
Unprecedented rainfall brings catastrophic flooding across the Carolinas. As residents become trapped in water levels as high as 10 feet in some areas, emergency rescue efforts get underway. Responding to the scene is the US Coastguard and helicopter pilot, Rick Williams.
As soon as the storm began to hit landfall, calls started coming in, we immediately launched and headed down south. There was massive amounts of turbulence. We were facing winds from 40 to 70 knots. We started just conducting an overhead search, flying over the houses that looked like they were taking the worst damage and trying to see if anybody needed assistance.
Also helping with the response are mother and son, Chris and Gail Rogers, who drive 200 miles with a rental truck full of supplies.
We saw that Wilmington had gotten hit really hard, that it had flooded around the city. We thought it might be a little adventurous on the way. We would get to see the damage that had been caused by the hurricane. On the way up, we saw plenty of trees down, houses with the water up to their porches.
As they reach Wilmington, Gail and Chris suddenly realize they're driving into danger.
As I got into the water a little bit, I realized that I can't see the road. All I can see is glimpses of yellow lines here and there.
See that yellow line right there?
Yep, that's the right line. I got the left one right here on my other tire. I got them right there in front of me. She was freaking out a little bit, and so I'm trying to make sure that she knows that it's okay.
Oh my God. Christopher!
Come on, calm down.
You could hear the force of the water going across the road. It was very loud.
Oh my God.
By this point, it was pretty high on the truck then, and we thought something was probably going to go wrong.
It's just water as far as you can see, and trucks as far as you can see going, and an 18-wheeler coming the other way just pushed us off the road with their wave.
Go, 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 go. It's slippery.
Once that wave of water had hit the truck, there was no wheels on the ground anymore, so there's no control. It's just floating at that point.
You could feel the truck starting to float, start thinking about exit strategy very, very fast.
Later, Carolina residents fight for survival as they become trapped in Florence's floodwaters.
1, 2, 3.
And rescuers brave the most challenging of missions.
You can't train hard enough to prepare yourself to face what Mother Nature is going to throw at you.
Home to some of the biggest waves on the planet is surfing mecca Nazare in Portugal. With an underwater canyon funneling record-breaking swells towards the beach, Nazare is an irresistible playground for big wave surfers like England's Tom Butler.
I won my first English title when I was 11, and then around the age of 21 I really got the bug for big wave surfing. I'm now 30, so I've been riding big waves for like the last 9 years. And when I was 23, I went to Nazare for the first time. In Nazare, you've got like deep water, so the waves just come in and unload on the beach and nothing's stopping it. It's just absolute raw power. Just a freak of nature. It's become a surfing mecca because the biggest waves in the world break there. It's that simple. It's just so exhilarated. You're on a knife's edge, you're holding on as tight as you can with your toes, and then surviving it and pulling out to safety. It's just like absolutely euphoric.
But Nazare's waves are unpredictable and can turn deadly at any moment.
The bigger the wave, the more power it has, the more weight is behind it. So you've got one of them waves landing on top of you, it can cause severe damage to your body or fatality. So there is a lot of risk involved. You're surfing in water, and ultimately water can drown you, you know? Things change very fast in the ocean. You are at the mercy of Mother Nature. It is so damn scary.
It's 2016, and Tom is in Nazare making his debut in a big wave surfing contest.
I had loads of confidence, I had a good surfboard under my feet, well trained, it felt really good. The heats last 45 minutes, so you're under pressure with timing. 10 or 15 minutes had gone by and I hadn't caught a wave. Other competitors around me had just positioned themselves slightly better. Almost been like 25 minutes without a wave. And I was just so hyped up for the occasion, I just said to myself, right, the next big wave what comes, it's like a statement thing, I'm just gonna throw it to the wind and I'm gonna send it. And a big wave came, I just went straight on it. The wind gust at the wrong moment. It got underneath the front of my board and just held me up for a split second. The whole descent down the wave got slowed down, and then the wave was just on top of me and just landed square on my back. That was it, game over.
The ocean can be a formidable force, even for the experts. The power of Nazare's colossal waves is too much for this surfer to handle. Tumbling into the water at 50 miles per hour, he's engulfed by a monster swell. Resurfacing to catch a breath, he's near rocks, and a second wave is closing in. A daring jet ski driver swoops in, and it's full throttle as they race to outrun the wave. But Mother Nature is ruthless, and they're eventually swallowed up. Finally, the duo are able to swim to safety, and amazingly, the surfers and their jet ski are in one piece. Western Australia. And this group of reckless surfers are riding dangerous swells created by stormy conditions and winds of up to 60 miles per hour. Jumping into the waves, the daredevils cling onto wakeboard cables which are tied onto the bridge. And one surfer even brings an inflatable shark to the party. They make it out unscathed, but their dangerous exploits could have had potentially fatal consequences. This pair of surfers in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, have found a novel way of launching themselves into the ocean. But things take a disastrous turn as the second surfer finds himself falling into the swell. And slamming against the rocks. Using all his strength, he's finally able to paddle away to his friend. But it's another reminder that you underestimate the ocean at your peril. Back in Nazare, Portugal, a monster 30-foot wave is causing surfer Tom Butler to wipe out.
I just go down like a sack of spuds straight onto my side and just take all the impact. And when you're hitting water at that speed and with that mass coming down on top of you, water feels like concrete. So underwater, I'm like, right, I've got to get back to the surface. Get to the surface, and then I'm looking for someone to hopefully come and rescue me on the jet ski, and there's no one around. And then the next wave what landed on my head, that probably held me under for like another 10 seconds, and then another 4 or 5 waves on the head. So by the time I'd hit the beach, I'd probably spent like about 40, 50 seconds underwater. I couldn't get my breath back. It felt like someone had hit me around the ribs with a baseball bat, so I knew at that point it was serious. My lung was starting to collapse, and I got part of my ear ripped off. So I was carted off into the ambulance, put on morphine, and then I had 4 days in hospital in Portugal.
Tom may have been battered by Nazare's waves, but he refuses to be beaten by them.
I was on the hospital bed. I gave myself a bit of a pat on the back. I was like, yeah, you didn't do great in the competition, but you sort of shown to the world you're not scared. A lesson learned, you know, you've got to be hungry for competition. You've got to give it your all, but also you have to be calculated. But it gave me more confidence, and it was just like, yeah, come on, Nazare.
And in December 2018, Tom takes on Nazare once again.
It was right in the middle of winter. That's when you're generally going to get the biggest waves in the Atlantic. We seen the storm come in, and we knew it was going to be good. This swell was a freak wave of that session, just one what was a lot bigger than the other waves. Rode the wave like as perfectly as I could, and it was just nuts. Shadow came over me, it went quite dark, and I was like, wow, is this thing going to land on my head, or am I going to outrun it? And I was like, hold on, and then seen the light, and it let me go, and that was it. I was in the channel, and just, yeah, the glory.
At around 100 feet tall, it was one of the biggest waves ever surfed.
Riding the wave in 2018, put a little bit of closure onto my wipeout from 2016. It's one of them, you know, I'm never going to get one up on nature, but for sure it was like, yes, like you beat me 2 years ago, Nazare. I've kind of clawed my way back at you.
Still to come.
3.
It's a race to rescue people and animals.
There's only so much time you have.
From Hurricane Florence's catastrophic flooding.
There's wind damage, there's down power lines, there's swift water situations.
And a skiing trip nearly turns to tragedy for 2 friends in France. Alaska, in the US, is one of the most active seismic zones on the planet. Due to its location on the northern corner of the Pacific Rim, it's home to 11% of the world's recorded earthquakes. On November 30th, 2018, in the city of Anchorage, the day started like any other day for 16-year-old student Kira Slama.
I was between first and second period. The morning was completely normal. It just felt like any other school day.
Across town, father of 3, Jesse Elmore, is getting his children ready for the day.
It was a Friday morning. My wife, she was getting to sleep in, and I was getting my oldest daughter ready for school.
I was just in the hallway with my friends, and we were just like smiling, goofing around. All of a sudden, you just felt this rumble in the ground.
I was standing in my kitchen, and I felt just a small vibration. Whoa, earthquake. And then I heard a loud noise. Only thing I could describe it as like a train coming. That's when I was like, wow, this is huge.
I thought it was a generator at first that was like going crazy. I didn't know what it was. When the lights were out, you could just hear this loud, like stuff was falling, and you didn't really know what it was because you couldn't see it. And then I heard people yell, "It's an earthquake."
It's an earthquake! It's an earthquake!
Anchorage is taking a heavy beating from a magnitude 7 quake. As the tectonic rumblings below reverberate around the city, it causes widespread panic.
Earthquake! Earthquake!
At the airport, flights are grounded as the control center is evacuated. Schools full of terrified teachers and pupils take cover. But for Kira, who's stuck in the hallway, there's nowhere to hide.
We've had earthquake drills in the past where they say to get under your desk and cover your head, but no one knew what to do because we were all in the hallway.
Get on the ground! Oh my gosh!
My friends were saying, "Kira, get down," and my sister, who was with us, she thought that a piece of ceiling was going to fall on my head, so she told me to get on the ground, and there was like ceiling falling and lights.
I'm on the ground! Get on the ground!
As Kira braces herself, Jesse's priority is his family.
My first thought was, whoa, that's a big earthquake. Second, I was like, where are my children? And I immediately started scrambling, trying to find them, and I hollered for my wife for help.
There are more than 3 million earthquakes every year. Their sheer power can cause colossal damage to buildings and roads and trigger deadly landslides and tsunamis. In Indonesia, a 7.5 magnitude earthquake has rocked Sulawesi Island. Shop CCTV footage shows the moment the earthquake hits. As people run for their lives, the building violently shakes around them. The deadly quake triggered a tsunami and tragically killed more than 2,000 people. Also in Indonesia, a powerful earthquake has struck the island of Lombok. An 18-year-old high school student has been trapped under the rubble for 3 days. A rescue mission is assembled, and using grinding machines, they're able to cut through the concrete and metal. Finally, after 3 hours, the rescuers are able to glimpse the girl in the ruins and miraculously pull her to safety. She is rushed to hospital and unbelievably went on to make a full recovery. In the Philippines, dangerous aftershocks from an earthquake have ruptured a rooftop swimming pool. Water gushes from the pool down onto the street below. And terrified residents, fearing its collapse, run from the 53-floor apartment block. Thankfully, the building remains standing, but it serves as a sobering reminder of the damage natural disasters can cause. Back in Anchorage, Alaska, Kira Slama is stuck in her school corridor at the mercy of a magnitude 7 quake.
The earthquake felt like you were on a roller coaster. The hallway was going like this. There was lots of panic. Teachers had looks of like shock on their face, and there were kids screaming.
Dad of 3, Jesse Elmore, is trying to protect his children.
Initially, when I turned around and I saw the other 2 children, I was worried about my other daughter, Hazel. She was downstairs, but I didn't 100% know where she was downstairs. So that was the first time I've truly experienced like a sheer panic for where's my child. And then the feeling of I can't stop this, I can't control this. The girls were terrified. The baby starts screaming. Worst case scenario for me with this earthquake was the house falling on us.
Back at Kira's school, the students are still in a state of panic.
After the lights had turned back on, it was like all the drills went out the window and everyone just rushed out.
Oh my gosh, guys! Outside! Let's go! Get out!
There was no like order to anything, it was just chaos.
Oh my gosh, guys!
There were pieces of ceiling on the ground and some lights with glass. I was shocked. You could just see the destruction.
As the terrified students make a run for the playground, the enormity of the situation dawns.
I'm scared. Oh my God. I was shaking so much, I couldn't stop shaking.
Are you shaking? I'm shaking!
There were people like crying and hugging each other. There were people texting their parents and calling them. I was just thinking about the damage inside the school and what our homes would look like when we went home.
Kira heads back to her house, but the carnage is worse than expected.
It was very shocking. The most shocking part, I think, was just seeing the destruction that was caused by the earthquake. All the shelves had broken and stuff had fallen everywhere. It was like walking through a maze.
The earthquake ruptured 25 miles below ground and caused significant damage to buildings and roads. But fortunately, there were no fatalities.
I would definitely say the November 30th earthquake was the scariest day of my life.
Should we go to Mr. Smith?
The whole earthquake it made me think more about natural disasters, how scary they are, and that they are out there.
We were very fortunate with how things turned out. Having seen what occurred to other parts of the town or to what happened to other people, we were very fortunate, we were very blessed, we're very thankful that nothing major happened to us into our home. And so that was a major relief.
Back in North Carolina, and Hurricane Florence has ravaged the coastline and brought with it biblical flooding, putting many lives at risk. Rescuers are out in full force, including Jess Crampton and Chad Gard from the Humane Society of Missouri, who are on a mission to rescue stranded pets.
There's only so much time you have that a dog or cat can survive in flood water, so we have to get in and get them out as quickly as possible.
Jess and Chad receive a desperate plea for help.
We received a phone call from an owner who was frantic that her dog had been left in the trailer because she was stranded in another town affected by the hurricane. The house was in the floodwaters and it was, from what we heard, completely submerged.
They spring into action, but the widespread flooding makes navigating the streets almost impossible.
The entire neighborhood is underwater, and the water is deeper than all the street signs.
The homes were flooded. The devastation was awful.
All you see is the rooftops. Hundreds of homes, it's all gone.
By a stroke of luck, they chance upon an abandoned property matching the description of the dog owner's home.
As we paddled closer to the house, we heard the dog bark inside. We were very excited because we knew we had finally found her and that she was alive. Then it was just a matter of how we were going to get in there and rescue her.
With the home almost completely submerged, it's now a race against time to find a way in.
We attempted entry through the windows first, but there was absolutely no removing the windows. Next, we went for the door. It was our only option.
Whilst delivering aid to those in need, mother and son, Gail and Chris, fall victim to Florence's deadly floodwaters.
It seemed like time kind of slowed down for a second. I kind of had the feeling, you know, is this really happening to us right now? It was very surreal.
I was in fight or flight. I mean, at that point, it was get out of this truck and go.
I immediately went under and was just trying to grab anything that would help me pull up.
It was very helpless, being sucked under the water like that. You're just gone.
Meanwhile, animal rescuers Jess and Chad are desperately trying to save a stricken dog trapped in a flooded home.
1, 2, 3. The door had swollen, so the only way we could do it was we grabbed the rafters on the front porch and we started kicking. For the split second that she went inside the door and I lost visual contact of her, it's nerve-wracking because I don't know what's going on inside the home. I know I have to keep the door open so that she can get back out of the door. I got it. Coming out the front of the boat.
She was sitting on a couch on the other side of the living room, about 6 inches from touching the ceiling.
When we got her in the boat, she was just as sweet as she could be, and she was loving on everybody that was in the boat, and she was very excited. She knew we were there to help her.
But there are still others trapped in the raging floodwaters, as Chris and Gail are now clinging to the back of their truck. Fortunately, 2 people stopped to help.
A couple of trucks had stopped to help us, and the 2 guys were out in the water trying to sling a rope to us.
I tied the rope off to the truck, and she pulled herself back. Seeing my mom crossing the river, I was very anxious. There was a point where she wasn't strong enough to pull herself any farther with this water rushing head towards her.
I could hear him in the background, you know, Mom, keep your head up, you know, keep your face out of the water and everything. So I was trying really hard to concentrate on just staying above water.
As soon as one of the other fellows got in the water and actually grabbed her and pulled her out, that's whenever it was. And now y'all can just pull me out.
Chris and Gail make it to safety thanks to the kindness of strangers. But their terrifying close call leaves them in shock.
I didn't start crying about it until later that evening. That was when it really sunk in that what we had been through and how close we had come to, you know, probably dying.
You always think it can happen to other people, but you never think it's going to happen to you.
Hundreds of residents are still trapped in their homes. So the US Coastguard carry out crucial search and rescue missions.
There's multiple different fronts happening simultaneously. There's wind damage, there's down power lines, there's swift water situations. We're also working with people who may have not had food or water for several days, could be extremely weak. There are babies, there are elderly people, there are people who are in different kind of situations that make each rescue a little different. It's an extremely challenging environment with a lot of things happening at one time.
Florence dumped 8 trillion gallons of rain in North Carolina alone, the equivalent of 12 million Olympic-sized swimming pools. It caused $24 billion of damage, and tragically, 52 people lost their lives. But despite the devastation, there are many heroes of the hurricane.
The helicopters and the fixed-wing aircraft flew 338 search and rescue missions. We saved 284 lives. Seeing all the people, both in the Coast Guard and in the communities around, that come together to help people, you still see the best in people following these storms. And to see that firsthand is extremely satisfying to me.
Animal rescuers Jess and Chad have saved the life of Soshi the dog and head back to dry land to reunite her with her owner.
It's a miracle that dog was alive.
Dogs and cats, animals they're just like family. They're just like your own kids. That's why we do what we do.
Having such a wonderful ending with this one made it very special to us.
And it's also an experience that mother and son, Gail and Chris, will never forget.
I've definitely learned water's nothing to mess around with. It's much more powerful than you ever think it's going to be. It was very frightening.
We got really lucky. Really lucky.
Due to its record-breaking flood levels, Florence was a once-in-a-thousand-year event.
To see Mother Nature in its truest form and its raw power is really an amazing thing to witness.
But it's a stark reminder that you should never underestimate the power of the weather.
Mother Nature's unforgiving. The sea is unforgiving, the wind's unforgiving. It's extremely powerful, and it's often underestimated. You can't train hard enough to prepare yourself to face what Mother Nature's going to throw at you.
Châtel, a bustling ski resort in the French Alps. In January 2015, ski buddies Dennis Corbett and Colin Gomez take a trip to the pretty alpine village. But unfortunately, they aren't blessed with good weather.
It had snowed maybe like 1.5 meters, and it was always like bad weather.
It was snowing like hell. It was just every day it was snowing.
For off-piste skiing, we were looking for a lot of powder, so we were all really happy having these kind of conditions.
But as every experienced skier knows, the bigger the snowfall, the bigger the risk.
It was snowing so much that we knew that the avalanche risk was getting higher and higher every day.
Dennis and Colin have all but given up hope of hitting the off-piste slopes when the weather takes a turn.
When we woke up, it was really blue sky and everything, so we were kind of in a hurry to go skiing and to be able to enjoy the snow, but at the same time we knew that it was going to be a really dangerous day.
We know that for the first sunny day we will want to go in half-piste and to try something cool, but we have to keep focused.
Eager to make the most of the good weather, Dennis and Colin make their way up the mountains. But just as they're about to tackle their first off-piste slope, they begin to have second thoughts.
It's like really serious time. Like, we are here to have fun, but you got to get serious at some point because it's a risky kind of activity. And we had to choose whether we want to ski it or if we just want to go back and leave the place.
We looked at the snow, we looked at how the slope was, so the steepness.
At the end of the day, after debating and trying to see all the hints we could have about the snow, we decided to go down.
Having just seen a group of skiers tackle the slope without incident, the friends decide to take the risk. And Colin is the first to take the plunge.
I'm skiing down the face. I'm taking my time because I want to test the snow. I want to see if it's safe or not. I just decided I'm gonna stop in this place because I'm safe, and I'm just gonna watch Dennis skiing to make sure that nothing will happen to him.
I started to ride quite fast at the top to not put too much pressure on the snow so that I don't trigger anything. And then I arrived in the steepest part of the face where I had to jump a little rock, and I decided to go for it. And when I landed is where it all went wrong. I had this line, like this snow line in front of me, and the moment I understood it was the crack of the avalanche, I was already skiing on it.
When I saw the big track, I told to myself, I hope, Dennis, you will just go straight and jump this little bump, this track, and you will be able to escape the avalanche.
At that point, I knew that I was gonna get buried by the avalanche, and then I fell. It's like the washing machine thing. You don't know if your face is up or down. I was pulled for maybe, I guess it was something like 200 meters.
When he was under the snow and then the snow covered him. At this moment I knew that it was a serious avalanche.
Avalanches kill more than 150 people every year. If you're buried under snow, on average, you can only survive for 18 minutes. In Utah,
Oh my God! No way, yo, that just broke on me. Woo, that was so sketchy!
luckily for him, he avoids being buried.
Witness, avalanche season, be careful, Powder Mountain, we're alive and well, it's all good. Oh my gosh.
At the foot of Mount Elbrus, Russia, a massive avalanche bears down on a car park. The onlookers witness the sheer power of Mother Nature as cars are pushed back with terrifying ease. Trapped beneath the sheer weight of the snow, the cars are damaged, but luckily there were no reported injuries. In Vasilitsa, Greece, a skier is enjoying the snow when he happens to glance behind him. Avalanches can reach 80 miles per hour in under 5 seconds, giving very little reaction time. But this skier thinks fast and grabs a nearby tree. Helping him survive the snow tsunami. Back in the French Alps, off-piste skier Dennis has just been struck by the full fury of an avalanche.
Once everything stops, you get really compacted in the snow, you're trapped. You can't move a finger. It's like in a concrete coffin.
Buried beneath the snow, Dennis's only hope is friend Colin.
I had to act fast. I passed my transceiver into search mode in order to be able to capture the signal from Dennis' transceiver. And then you have to do what we call a zigzag search to find the exact spot where your friend is.
Luckily, some nearby skiers stop to help, but it's a race against time to save him.
I thought, okay, you might die here. I got a bit dizzy by the lack of oxygen and I kind of fell asleep under the snow.
A few minutes, like a very long time, because I was just yelling at Dennis, hoping he will be able to answer me.
Denis, est-ce que tu m'entends? Denis, est-ce que tu m'entends?
But then when I had the first signal, everything went super fast.
Ramenez-vous, ramenez-vous! Il est là, il est là!
We were able to find his leg and then we started to shovel and to find his head.
And the next thing I know is that I feel the snow moving above me. That's the moment when I realized, okay, maybe I'm gonna get out of here.
Colin and a group of fellow skiers managed to dig a dazed Dennis out of the snow. And incredibly, apart from a torn ligament in his knee, Dennis walks away unscathed. But both men have learned a valuable lesson from the experience.
When you have a super day with super conditions, but you know there's a part of risk, and so you have to take the right decisions.
In the mountains, you got to stay really humble because no matter how much safety equipment you have, how much skills, how much knowledge, at the end of the day, it's always the mountain that is going to win if something goes wrong.
Extreme weather can keep us on our toes, but not always on our feet. In Beijing, China, heavy snow and ice along the Great Wall are making it a pretty tricky trek for these tourists. Even those who hold the handrail are struggling to stay standing, thanks to a particularly freezing February. And though the tourist attraction might be a man-made construct, Mother Nature's showing everyone who's boss by ensuring the temperature isn't the only thing falling. Even professionals struggle to keep on top of things from time to time, like this daredevil snowboarder in Finland. After losing his balance, there's only one way he's heading. At least it's a soft landing. In Colorado, the US, this woman desperately struggles against strong winds to shut the lid of her hot tub. She's nothing but persistent. And it looks like her hard work has paid off, only for Mother Nature to put our hot tub heroine in her place, squashed inside the lid. Finally, she admits defeat and calls time on her epic battle. In this episode, we've seen the full force of Mother Nature's fury. We've seen her give it everything she's got.
Oh my gosh, guys! Go! Outside! Let's go! Get out!
We've watched her tear down, rip up, and destroy everything in sight.
Oh my God.
And next time, there will be more, because deadly weather stops for no one.